Hello, I'm Maribel Tarouk. Well, it's official. After days of rumors and speculation, Kawhi Leonard is not returning to Toronto next year.
Turns a corner for the win!
Thank you to Kawhi. Honestly, he inspired the country.
Number two, two-time Finals MVP, world champion. A fun guy.
The superstar is reportedly leaving the Toronto Raptors to return to his hometown. Reports say he has signed a 4-year, $142 million deal with the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, our Greg Ross joins us from Scotiabank Arena, or what we lovingly know it as Jurassic Park. Greg, lots of different emotions for Raptors fans in this city. How are they taking it?
Well, the news broke so late, Mariville, that I think a lot of Raptor fans had gone to bed, so they woke up this morning to this news, and as you can imagine, there was a lot of sadness throughout the city, a lot of disappointment throughout the city, but really interesting walking around, talking to Raptors fans. One thing they're expressing today is gratitude. They're thankful that he was able to come here, he was able to lead this team to the first ever championship in franchise history, and there's one thing you can't take away. You can't take away those great memories. You just played one of them, that buzzer beater against Philadelphia in the second round. And you can't take away that championship. Now, we did talk to fans. Remember, there are other teams around the league that have gone through this or are going through this, and nobody knows what it feels like to lose a superstar more than a Cleveland Cavaliers fan. They lost LeBron James on 2 different occasions, who LeBron obviously is also in LA right now, but playing for the Lakers, the other team that was trying to get Kawhi Leonard. We spoke with a Cavaliers fan who had some advice for Raptors fans and a shoulder to cry on. Raptor fan, meet Cavaliers fan, you guys have a lot in common.
Yeah. I mean, we sympathize. I think we're in the same boat.
I have somebody who's going to do some counseling for you here today. See what it says on his shirt there?
Cavaliers.
Now, that's a team that's had some heartbreak with LeBron leaving not once, but twice. As a fan that loses a superstar, what are the stages that you go through?
You have to accept. You have to deal with it. And then you got to take this moment of, this is maybe a bittersweet moment because you've just been to the finals and you're trying to let it go, and you know that next year, now it's not going to be the same.
This is a guy that has experience with what you're dealing with today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell him, console him, help him out.
So the first step is acceptance. And if you've gotten past that, we're really on the move.
Yeah.
It's lame. I know. I've been there twice. It will get better. And I think that the right path is the optimism aspect that you got. At one point or another, you start going, okay, here's our young talent, and you start learning the G League names of guys.
Absolutely agree. I mean, we're grateful for what Kawhi did for the city. Couldn't be happy for him to go home. As he said, life does go on, and we'll see where we go from here.
He's offering free hugs here if you want one.
Free hug.
Free. Hug it out. We can hug it out. All the best.
Yeah.
You got your chip.
Yeah.
A lot of people hugging it out this morning, no doubt. A lot of people, maybe some tears in their coffee. You're not going to believe this. This just happening, running into these fans who literally just walked by, and you guys are Spurs fans from New Jersey, but you're still Spurs fans. You know what it's like to lose Kawhi Leonard. Yeah. How tough was it when he left San Antonio last year?
Painful because you couldn't do anything the next season. You weren't like one of the top 3 seeds.
Oh, no. So you think that's what's going to happen here in Toronto?
Probably not. I mean, they still have Siakam and Lowry.
All right, that's the attitude. So there you go, Marivelle, and that's what a lot of Raptor fans are thinking right now. We still have some talent. This is probably still a playoff team here in Toronto, so there's still some guys that like Siakam and Lowry that fans have to cheer for here.
Choosing the optimism side. And Greg, I don't know how you do it, how you find these fans. That was great. Thanks. Okay, a sample there of how fans are coping with the news. Our Natalie Nanowski hit a local basketball court for some more reaction and what the future may hold for the Raptors.
On the court, basketball fans are coming to terms with the news.
I mean, I just don't get why he would go to the Clippers when you could have a whole country behind you.
I'm sad but not mad.
He came here and gave us a championship, but I wish he had stayed.
Staying was unlikely. Toronto was one of the teams Kawhi Leonard was in talks with. The other two were in LA, the Lakers and Clippers. And ever since coming north, it was pretty clear the California native had his heart set on returning home.
I never doubted what the Raptors have done in order to make him feel welcome here, in order to make him feel like this could be his future home. We've done everything that we possibly could have to make sure that he could possibly resign. At the end of the day, Toronto never really had a chance.
With Kawhi gone, the team's other big name wasn't going to stay. Danny Green is heading to the LA Lakers, but it sounds like that wasn't his first choice.
It's been unfortunate of how things have turned out for everybody and the city of Toronto and all of Canada, that we couldn't run it back.
So who will take the lead for the Raptors? Well, there's a lot of speculation.
I'm not that sad because Siakam's still on the team, and he's my second favorite player, so the Raptors still have a chance to win the NBA Finals next year.
The fan who's been around since the start also doesn't see this as a loss.
We still have the same coaching staff, we still have the same management, and we still have the same fire inside to win the championship again next year.
All eyes right now are on President Masai Ujiri. His controversial move last year to get Kawhi made Raptors history.
I feel like he's going to take this team in a new direction, kind of because this path has run its course, and I'm excited to see what Masai does next.
The team's future is unknown, but one thing is certain. That win now runs through this city's veins. Natalie Nanowski, CBC News, Toronto.
And we are hearing from Raptors President Masai Ujiri. In a statement, he says, "We are very thankful for the year that Kawhi and Danny played with us here in Toronto. And I know the city and the entire country of Canada are grateful for everything they did to help us win our first NBA championship." The statement continues, "As an organization, the Raptors will focus on the future and continue our pursuit of a second championship." And the Toronto Raptors tweeting this out, thanking Kawhi. It reads, "A year we will never forget. Thank you. #We the North." And of course, Danny Green got a shout out too. Well, to other news now. A man is dead and another is seriously injured after two Seadoos collided on Lake Ontario this morning. The collision happened in Humber Bay near Marine Parade Drive in South Etobicoke just after 10 this morning. According to police, a bystander on shore attempted to swim out to the men. Members of the police's marine unit rushed to the area and pulled the men out of the water. One was pronounced dead at the scene. The other was taken to hospital with serious injuries. Police do not know if the two men knew each other. Officers are reconstructing the collision to try to determine what happened. Well, a really hot day, a little bit uncomfortably hot for a lot of people. Let's check in with Winston C. To see how much more of this we're in store for. Hi, Winston.
Good evening, Marivelle. Well, it has been hot and it has been humid. This is what we are going to be dealing with tonight. 26 degrees, feeling like 33. Winds coming in from the north. And it's also been quite an active one, especially for those of you west of Hamilton, between Paris and Hamilton. You've seen some really active cells as well that brought significant amount of rain. So this is the past few hours via radar. But there's more. This is the last 12 hours on top of the rain that you've seen. So upwards of 5 to 10. Even upwards of 20 millimeters of rain depending on where you are. So quite a bit of rain accumulation. The good news is as this area of high starts to push through, we're going to see a bit of a clearing trend. Temperatures are going to warm up a little bit, but this is the moisture. This is what it looks like. Much of the moisture is still within northern Ontario. We've got this ridge here that builds with dry conditions. So as you look at temperatures this evening, look at this, 26 in Toronto, 26 in Pickering, 27 in Oshawa, a bit of rain up towards Newmarket as well and down towards Burlington. We're looking at a risk of thunderstorms as well. Temperature trends are going to be cooling as you do move into your next week. And take a look at this. Your feels like for Sunday, 25, so not too bad. And your 7-day forecast now is here for you now. So sun across the board until later part of next week. Marivelle, back to you.
All right, thanks, Winston. Well, some sad news to share with you from us at CBC Toronto today. Ing Wong Ward, a longtime CBC colleague turned advocate for the disabled, has passed away. In her more than 20 years at CBC, she spent most of her career in radio, much of it at CBC Toronto, where she worked as a producer at Metro Morning, Here and Now, and Fresh Air. Wong Ward returned to the airwaves in recent months, opening up about her fight with colon cancer and entering into palliative care, and how she shared the news with her family.
I've also told my daughter, because she asked, what the long-term prognosis is. So she now knows that I will die from cancer. That was obviously a very difficult conversation to have. However, I'm glad that we had it because she's now actually more comfortable in some ways with knowing what the future looks like. Now she at least knows that things are going to be difficult, but we have some time to be together and to create memories.
A brave woman, Wong Ward is survived by her husband, Tim, and their daughter, Zhenmei. In a Facebook post, Tim said on her wishes, she will be cremated with no service or visitation, but the family will hold a celebration of her life later this year.
It's a swimming pool, I guess. Yeah, I went into the hole up to my neck.
A water main break gone bad as a large sinkhole gobbles up a car in Markham and causes major flooding on the street. Now residents on that street in Markham are left to clean up the mess, and they're asking who's to blame for the damage and when will it be fixed. Adrian Chung has that story.
The people who live on Dalmany Road were ready for a summer revamp, with the city of Markham replacing old sewer and water lines. But a mud-crusted street, severe flooding, and a sinkhole? That's not part of the plan.
So what are you going to do now? You got a giant hole right on your property, right outside of your property.
You're telling me? Yes, we do. We have a big hole.
This is what the fix looks like. Last night was worse, when the ground was disturbed and a water main broke, spilling gallons onto the street for hours. Then a car went into a massive sinkhole. This man getting out just in time.
Yeah, I kind of just swam to the edge with my hands and feet, and I was super scared. Like, I was like, I don't make it.
The water kept pouring, inching onto properties and into basements. Firefighters struggling to find where the drains are in the darkness.
Can you show me just where it came up to? So show me how far it came up.
You see my garden there? Going right into the garden, right up to here.
Some residents were told by the city of Markham that the crew on site won't be coming to fix the flood.
It's a human mistake. Fine, come and fix it. Don't put other people in this mess. It's a big mess.
Now, with the waters draining, residents want to know who's at fault here and who will pay up for the fix.
Home insurance company will have their contractors do the work that's necessary to make him whole again. But it's the city's, it's filing a claim with the city, which is the step to go.
And even today, the people who now stare at a sinkhole right outside their window say even the basics aren't being considered.
Why didn't they alert us that they were going to dig this hole and make our driveway inaccessible so we couldn't take our car out? It's a simple thing to do.
The city of Markham says all construction will be done by the fall. And people who live here say it can't come soon enough. Adrian Chung, CBC News, Markham.
A deadly shooting last Canada Day weekend at Orchid nightclub in the city's entertainment district. Tonight, friends and family of Jordan Armstrong gather to remember him. Plus,
8:21 here on the air. We're experiencing very strong shaking. Wow. I think we need to get under the desk.
All right, we're going to go to break. We'll be right back after this. Wow.
California is jolted overnight by a 7.1 magnitude earthquake, and officials are warning about the possibility of strong aftershocks. The full story coming up. Police are looking for a man in connection with a brazen knife attack at Yonge Dundas Square last night. The suspect allegedly approached another man while standing in a group and slashed him in the neck. The victim was seriously injured and taken to a trauma center. Anyone with information is asked to call police. A downtown parking lot is packed this evening to honor the life of Jordan Armstrong. The 33-year-old was fatally shot last weekend inside Orchid nightclub, where he worked as a promoter. And tonight's vigil is just outside that location, and that is where CBC's Talia Ricci is. So Talia, what are friends gathering there tonight saying?
Well, Maribel, this crowd behind me is indicative of just how loved Jordan is. I spoke with a few of his friends today, and the same words kept coming up to describe him: caring, loving, popular, funny, but most importantly, a great father. Have a listen.
He's a happy person. Every time you meet him, he's always a happy person to be around with. Nothing negative about him. Really nothing negative.
Jordan was a very funny guy, you know, pretty much always put a smile on your face. It's one of those guys when you come around him and you're really upset and you're trying to hold that like fake, you know, other shell. He's a guy that'll crack it for you. And pretty much a lot of these people are here celebrating him because he always ended everything on a positive note. He's always about going further, you know, growing in the community, helping everybody out, and pretty much this is what you see here is people basically celebrating that type of lifestyle that he used to live.
Police say before 3 a.m. last Sunday, security at Orchid nightclub responded to the sound of a loud bang coming from the men's washroom. That's where they found the 33-year-old suffering from a gunshot wound. Police also said a gun was found close by. Loved ones are eager to speak out this evening for a few reasons: to ensure Jordan's legacy lives on, but also to raise awareness on the issue of gun violence in the city, and to challenge nightclubs to be more vigilant with their security measures. Police say staff and security at the venue have been cooperating with their investigation, but as more time passes, there is a sense of urgency to get answers about what happened that night.
If you're going to a club, whether you're going to the airport, whether you're going to the bank, you want to know that the security there has your back. Patrons go in there and half of them are halfway anyways because they're drinking, they're smoking, they're doing whatever, right? So when they're in there, they're counting on the security, they're counting on the establishments to basically look after them. Just like when you go on the airport, you're not thinking, okay, does this guy doing this job, this guy's doing the job, you pay for it, so that's what you expect, right? And pretty much in the city, what they need to do is they need to pay for some programs, get the guns off the street.
Now, police sent out another appeal for witnesses yesterday. They are still searching for suspects. Anyone who was in the club that evening, has cell phone photos or videos, or if they are with Jordan, police want to hear from you. There's also another event happening tomorrow to honor Jordan's life at Moda nightclub in the afternoon, and the proceeds from that will go to support his family. Maribel?
All right, thanks for this, Talia. Well, we have an update for you on the now canceled Roxodus Music Festival. The 4-day event was to feature the likes of Aerosmith, Nickelback, and Alice Cooper next weekend in Clearview Township. That's northwest of Barrie. But it was canceled because of recent wet weather. Earlier this week, we heard from ticket buyers who were feeling left in the dark and weren't able to get any information out of the organizers about refunds. Well, now the ticketing website Eventbrite says it will refund ticket holders and that they are aggressively pursuing the event organizers who have so far remained silent on the matter. Turning now to the United States, and a lot of people are trying to calm rattled nerves in Southern California after a second earthquake hit last night. There have been hundreds of aftershocks since the first quake on Thursday, and seismologists believe these tremors will continue for the next 6 months and perhaps even longer. Zuleka Nathu has the latest from Los Angeles.
We're experiencing very strong shaking.
Wow.
I think we need to get under the desk.
It's the second major earthquake in Southern California in as many days, interrupting newscasts and an NBA summer game. It even forced the evacuation of rides at Disneyland.
What the earthquake?
And went on long enough that people had time to grab their phones and take video.
Oh my gosh, guys, look at this, the rock slide in the canyon. And there's no officers, nothing here, and we can't get out.
The 7.1 magnitude earthquake could be felt as far as Las Vegas and Los Angeles. But the epicenter was right near the one on the 4th of July, here near the Mojave Desert town of Ridgecrest, California.
This earthquake was longer, but also concluded with a very, very strong jolt that felt like it was going to knock the whole place down.
In Ridgecrest, about 250 kilometers north of LA, there were house fires, likely the result of gas leaks or gas line breaks. There were power outages as well. Several minor injuries were reported and a lot of shot nerves.
Everything in my house is all over the place, and with everything shaking, things are falling. It's just not safe. I felt safer outside.
But it could have been much worse.
By the grace of God, we've had no casualties, and we've only had minor injuries, which is amazing considering these two big earthquakes that we've experienced.
Friday's earthquake is now being called the main quake, the largest Southern California has seen in 20 years. Thursday's is now considered to be the foreshock, and officials are warning people there could be another one to come.
There is a 5% chance that you could get another earthquake as large as this earthquake last night. So we want to make sure that people over the next 24 to 48 hours are prepared and cognizant of what to do should more earthquakes occur.
Parts of California are under a state of emergency as aftershocks continue by the minute and could go on for years. Zule Kanethu, CBC News, Los Angeles.
At least 20 people were injured in what caused an incredible scene in a South Florida shopping plaza early this morning. An explosion sent debris flying along a busy road in Plantation, west of Fort Lauderdale. The blast happened at a vacant pizza restaurant. The restaurant itself was destroyed and nearby businesses were damaged. Authorities are calling it a gas explosion. Well, for the second time in as many weeks, a migrant rescue ship has defied the Italian government and sailed into an Italian port. 41 migrants were aboard the Alex. The ship is run by a charity. Last month, new rules all but closed Italy's ports to migrants, and Italy's interior minister says it won't yield to what he calls blackmail. The ship turned down an offer to sail to Malta, saying conditions on board made that journey too long. There's a live shot of our city on this sunny evening. The chance of showers we were seeing all afternoon seems to have passed now. So we're looking at a dry Saturday night. Stay with us. We're back after this break. An important day for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex today with the christening of their son Archie. The royals have released photos. Meghan and Prince Harry kept a tight lid on the ceremony, and royal watchers are also still waiting to find out who Archie's godparents will be. Well, the famed running of the Bulls Festival in Pamplona, Spain kicked off today in the city square. Following tradition, it opened with fireworks, taking off from a sea of white shirts and red handkerchiefs. The festival attracts more than 1 million people each year. Yesterday, the mood was much less festive. Topless protesters denounced the festival's bullfights, taping replicas of the spears used in the ring to their backs. And that's our show for you tonight. Thanks for watching. You can stay caught up on news anytime on our website, cbcnews.ca. Have a great night, everyone.